Good evening, everyone. The United National Congress pre-budget consultation is rolling into Barataria this Thursday, 4th September at 6 p.m. Hosted by the San Juan Laventil Regional Corporation, Port of
your family and whatever group you're in, we will appreciate it. The more people that hear about our consultation and the contents of this consultation is the more beneficial it will be for us. So, chairman for the afternoon is MP Salam, so we'll invite him to the mic. Can everybody have their seats?
Thank you very much for joining us on the third series of the United National Congress Local Government Budget Consultations. This evening we have an amalgamation of three regional corporations: the Port of Spain City Corporation, the Diego Martin Regional Corporation, and right here, the Sawa Laventil Regional Corporation, each being represented by various members of the regional corporations and elected members of council. My name is Saddam Hussein. I will be the chairperson for this evening. I am the member of parliament for the constituency of Barataria San Juan. So firstly, let me welcome everyone to the premier constituency of Barataria San Juan. And as we begin today's proceedings, I'd just like to ask everyone to please stand for the playing of the national anthem, and we will be followed by the prayer by Ms. Swasti Gosain. Consultations are about. And this is something that this government has lacked for the past 7 years. They don't know how to talk to people, but rather they know how to talk down to people. And that is the difference with the United National Congress, because under the leadership of Kamala Prasad Bisesa, she has always engaged people. Our first mandate was serve the people. Thank you. Because Kamala Prasad Bissasa's philosophy in politics is not that of talking down to people, but rather talking with people. Because you have to understand what people go through on a daily basis before you can really bring change or implement policy or give something to someone, because you can't give something to someone that they don't want. And in order to really find out what they want, is you have to ask them what they want. And the purpose of tonight's proceedings is just that. What do you want out of the budget? What do you want out of the coffers of the state? What do the people of Diego Martin Regional Corporation want? What do the people of Port of Spain City Corporation want? What does the people of San Juan Laventil Regional Corporation want? And I think tonight we are poised in order to really have this discussion, because it's a very, very important discussion we need to have. And first on my list this afternoon to bring greetings and welcome remarks is Alderman Sterling Chase, our Alderman in the Diego Martin Regional Corporation, who continues to fight for us. So Alderman, please join us.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to bring greetings from the people of Diego Martin, of Diego Martin Regional Corporation. First of all, according to our Minister Saddam, our mandate was to serve the people, and serve the people. But in the seat where I sit, people have hardly been getting served at all. I have this message from the people of Diego Martin. Diego Martin is heading for borough status, they say, but we're not ready for borough status yet. We welcome it, but borough status can only mean building a new corporation complex and a bank. To get into borough status, you need employment. People in Diego Martin is suffering over employment. People are Carnage, Landsmeter, Scorpion. No opportunities for employment. Goodwood Laboratory, no employment. Covin Rich Plain, same thing, no employment. And you could go right through Marval, Cocorit, no employment. You have to get employment. Forget borough status. The garbage collection must be increased, must be done properly and efficiency. Water, we're having problems for water in Diego Martin. We need water, more trees to be cut, drains, bridges, tributaries to be clean. Borough status is not only buildings. We need equipment in the regional corporation, backhoe, tractors, cherry pickers. Those are things we need. We only get the money from the finance ministry, and what we get, we have to use. We get it, and it's very little, as all the rest of the regional corporation in Trinidad and Tobago. In the budget, I would like to see something better to be done in the grocery and grocery prices. It's too high, must drop a little for the poor man to get to survive. Building materials, I must say, something to be done to that. Money supposed to be passed or something or the other. Let building materials come a little cheaper so the poor people could afford it. In the regional corporation, Diego Martin, Port of Spain, right here in Barataria, when they get their allocations, the government might say they give an X amount. They don't give that X amount, they give a portion of it. So the people of them can really service the burgesses, they can clean the drains, they can do the cemeteries and whatever. Same thing going right up the road. Tanapuna, Piaco, right? We're going to Rima, Sandy Grande, Miaro, Rio Claro. Same thing. As the rain fall, clog drains, the people are getting the money to clean the tributaries. And up there, south of the Carney River, now we're going up south. Debe, Separia, Pinal, Cuva, Shogunas. Same thing. The amount of landslips it have in those constituencies, I saw on TV the other night. Landslips going away, pipe bursting, people's house going down. And the government must put something in the budget to see about that. Those people need the allocation to give them part of the allocation. Same thing as they're doing all over. When they go there, the people want the money to do get truck-borne water. They want the money to buy heavy equipment, and they're not getting it. So that is one other thing I would like to see in the budget. The government stop fooling the people. Stop fooling the corporation of Trinidad and Tobago. give them the allocation. Do not give them part of the allocation. You say you're giving them X amount of money and you're giving them part of that money. I want to say thank you and good night.
Thank you very much, Alderman Sterling Chase, and I know you represent us well in the Diego Martin Regional Corporation. The next person that I would like to bring to the podium is the former candidate for Port of Spain. Sorry, he was the former local government candidate for Port of Spain, the southern part of Port of Spain, and then he was the former general elections candidate for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, Mr. Darren Garner. Had you been the MP for that constituency today, we would not have had a man like Stuart Young in our parliament decimating our energy industry. So Darren Garner, I hope you come with some real energy here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening, one day after independence 2022, I stand before you a patriot, but a patriot who is disappointed. After 60 years, what do we have to celebrate? After 60 years, thousands are still left behind in this nation. Community after community are being ignored. Young people are finding that the only thing harder to find a job in TNT is hope, as crime, the cost of living, and poor governance cripple their future. Good evening. My name is Darren Garner, and I am proud to have served this party as a candidate. I am proud to be part of a party that is the only fighting entity for the people of this nation, and more so proud to be under the leadership that is driving our nation forward. This evening, I joined the budget consultation because I know together with MP Hussein and the UNC leadership, our party is collecting the ideas from you, the people, to put forward the real people's budget. I am happy to be a part of this consultation because for 7 years, the only sound economic plan that has come from the budget debate has been the plan put forward by our honorable leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Tonight, I want to ask the PNM, is Port of Spain the capital city or the land of the forgotten? I thought so too. No other nation in the world has abandoned their capital city like the PNM has. Imagining the PNM likes to boast about being the party that fought for independence, yet over 60 years they have abandoned the people of Port of Spain who have stood loyal to them. How could you have an Independence Day parade around the savannah celebrating 60 years when right down the road from Charlotte Street to Duncan Street to George Street, hundreds of families are abandoned. Hundreds of families don't know where they're getting money to send their children to school. How can you boast about independence when each day you see hundreds of youths in Port of Spain streets without jobs? Is it that Port of Spain for the PNM is the only made up of the 1% part in Sinclair and Maraval? How can the Port of Spain be the capital city? As you drive through the streets, it looks like a deserted wasteland. No oil and gas in which country treats their capital nation, their capital city, like the PNM has. I want to ask the mayor of Port of Spain, how do you keep your home? Do you treat your home the way you treat the capital city with this level of disdain? As a youth from Port of Spain, I am fed up of seeing my fellow community members murdered, fed up of seeing them on TV begging for help in a nation that Stuart Young went on CNN and tell people living nice, fed up of seeing families treated like they don't matter. For me, the cost of living is not about the prices, it is simply a fact that some of us just can't live. We can't find jobs, and there are no proper training programs and even proper education. Under Kamala Prasad Bisesa, we had an expansion of the GATE and the technical and vocational programs. Under this government, they reduced GATE, reduced funding for the technical and vocational programs, and even closed down the Trinidad and Tobago Hospitality institute known as Hotel School. Do you really care about Port of Spain? You may want to know what is my main wish from this budget. I want Mr. Imbert to stand up and say, look, we're done. We call an election. I want Rowley to stand and fund the election and leave office, because under the PNM, there is no hope. Budget after budget, they get it wrong. Budget after budget, they oppress the poor man. Budget after budget, they only fund who? Their friends and financiers. Time to end the dociousness, leave office. But this government wants to say, if this government wants to stay, I call on them, put more funds in YTEP, MIC, NCSC, and all the vocational programs to ensure the youth of Port of Spain can benefit. If they are serious, I want the government to expand the GATE program so our youth in Port of Spain can benefit. I want this government to introduce initiatives for businesses, such as a tax break on hiring youths, so more youths will be hired. My biggest wish for Mr. Imbert to come on the budget debate and sit down and listen to our true leader, Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Listen to her talk, because she is the real leader with a plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garner. The next person I'm going to introduce onto the podium is a man who really needs no introduction. He's a firehouse, a firepower in the Sawa Laventil Regional Corporation. He's our minority leader there, always fighting for the people. You could be what time it is, you call this man's phone, he will answer and say that he's ready to deliver. A man who spent his days in the union, now he's joined us in politics for umpteen years. A stalwart of the United National Congress, none other than Alderman Nazimul Mohammed.
Pleasant good evening. That was not a paid advertisement. Let me just quickly get into that one time. I begin in the name of the most powerful, the most merciful. I just wanted to take the opportunity to welcome those of you who have never been to Barataria. Welcome to Barataria. Welcome to the Corporation of San Juan Laventil, or part thereof. I know when you came in and you looked at the grass early on, and maybe now there's still some light, you will say, so did us keep there, Savannah? Don't worry about it. We are soon to have a United National Congress government. And as a consequence, that will no longer be, that'll be something of the past. I want to tell you that I came here today to tell you something that a lot of people don't understand. They believe that the regional corporation does everything. But when the Act 21 of 1990 was formulated, Chapter 2504, Section 253, identify that all municipalities shall have what is called a regional coordinating committee. The regional coordinating committee, and if I may just a moment just to read it, shall be established. Notice they say shall. For all the legal minds, they will tell you how powerful the word shall be, as against might be, or could be, or maybe. But there shall be established a coordinating committee with responsibility for ensuring efficiency in management of operations and coordinating delivery of service. The coordinating committee shall comprise of the chairman or the mayor, as the case might be, depending on whether it is in fact a borough or city, or the chairman, the head of the regional operation of the Water and Sewage Authority. Please note, I said the head of the region must attend this meeting. You're not asking no clerk to come in the meeting. The head of the district regional of the Water and Sewage Authority, the head of the regional operation of the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission, the district regional officer responsible for roads and drainage. And I know the people who commute on Elsico Road and Rangwest Main Road, Eastern Main Road, and the highway will attest to the condition that exists broken manhole covers, drains that are not clean. In fact, there's one organization in the Aranguez area that go ahead and try to solve the problem on their own. I think I saw this gentleman here this evening. Oh, here he is. And I suspect that he will be speaking a short while, so you will hear for yourself. That is what this coordinating committee is supposed to do, is to ensure the delivery of service is brought at its highest level, and that the representatives who sit in council would be able to get the services at a fingertip. Bang, bang, bang. That is what is supposed to happen. It is not happening. It is not happening because there is no will. And I must tell my colleague, Alderman Chase, that there is a difference between allocation and releases. One is a promise. One is they tell you they're going to give you money. The other one is when you release it. So what we get is promises. They never materialize. It's a wicked, evil, corrupt, twisted, convoluted mind that can take the funds of the people and do what they're doing now to this country, as it were. It is unfortunate. My brother would have identified some program that needs to be funded, so start opening up so that the young people that could now find some hope so that they can continue. My duty is to welcome you here, just to bring greetings. I don't want to go in any tangent of political landscape. You are supposed to come to do that tonight. I want to thank, I see some of my colleagues in the audience. I see members of the NATEX are here. I see MP for St. Augustine is here. My friend who I met in a by-election in Diego Martin was a gentleman who I hold a great likeness for. He's a firehouse, he's a firebrand, that's Mr. Damian Leiter. I see Eli is here as well. I see so many others who are here. Let me just take the opportunity to welcome you to Samuel Avantil. Please feel free to express yourselves. Do it in a very respectful manner, and therefore we'll be able to extrapolate from the information brought forward, and that we can present it through our representatives in the Parliament and in the Senate, so that we can make this government go back where they belong, which is somewhere in the bush, somewhere in the dark ages, somewhere when the dinosaurs used to walk the earth. They don't belong here anymore. They are suffering, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and it's time we stand up and we defend our country and bring back the political leader that is supposed to be the Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Alderman Nazimul Muhammad. And earlier on, this gentleman called me today and he said, MP having some difficulty, but you know what? It is my duty to be here tonight. And I think I cannot let tonight's proceedings pass without inviting a firebrand, a powerful man, a man who have them skipping in the Senate right now. None other than Senator Damian Leiter to address you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Saddam Hussein, and thank you for welcoming me into your territory. It's a very familiar place, the Kwezi, to me and to my family, so thank you. And I say good night to all my colleagues who are here, and for the soldiers of the United National Congress who continue to get out into the streets, get out into the public domain to fight for justice and to help this party, United National Congress, remove one of the most wicked, draconian and evil governments we've ever seen. We have seen the likes of evil governments in the past, but we have never seen a government like this Rowley-led administration persecute, decimate an economy, and destroy an entire country in 7 years. Brothers and sisters, we are here this evening to speak about the budget. And I myself have debated in 2 budgets since being in the Senate. And what I could say to you is that we sit in that Senate and listen to Mama Guy. That's the easiest way to put it, Mama Guy. Because 7 years later, $400 billion spent by this government. This year, $41 billion. And then Imbert comes to the population and tells the population that October of this last year to date, because of energy prices being skyrocketing, not because of what this government has done, not because of the diversification of the economy from this government, but because of a war and blood that is spilling thousands of miles away in a foreign land. So it is not PNM, but it is Putin that is giving this government a lifeline right now. But even with $1 billion extra per month on average from October to date, what have we seen coming out of this government? We've seen an economy that has declined by some between 16 to 18%. We've seen the energy industry crushed and crumble under this government. 1/3 of the Point Lisas estate closed. Ansar Matal, pack up and closed. Train 1, more than $240 million of your taxpayers' money discussed in that budget, wasted away. Why? Because we have no gas. Yet Rowley and Stuart Young, small pin, continues to travel and traverse the world having meetings for what? No gas to sell, but they're having meetings. And then when we look at the rest of the economy, it's not only the energy sector they've crushed, but they promised to diversify this economy. They promised to diversify outside of the energy sector. But what have we seen? Manufacturing and exports all in decline. Tourism, non-existent. And agriculture. Look at where we are in agriculture today. More than 120,000 persons put on the breadline as a result of this wicked and callous PNM government. But nobody jumps up and cries as yet because they're still closing their fridge door. That is why. But 120,000 persons out of a jobs. 6,000 SMEs shut, closed down. And brothers and sisters, when we talk about the budget consultation, I will move along very quickly to state, to look at the quality of this country, one only has to look at several ministries. Ministry of National Security, underfunded. A crime rate gone completely out of control. Interference into the TTPS. And now we see the result of the hand of the political executive, along with a weak lady in a big house around the savannah, who removed the sitting police commissioner, and now we see we are racing towards 600 murders for the year. The TTPS demotivated. Why? Because they haven't had a salary increase since 2013 under Kamala Persad-Bissessar government. That is the last time they got a salary increase. That is the state of crime in this country. Look at the state of education. Laptops taken away, school grants taken away, gate closed. But you see, I can keep going on and on. Infrastructure, roads falling apart, local government, where we see for the first time, I see in the history of the northwest of Trinidad and Tobago, completely underwater. Because they have failed to provide. We heard our brother Sterling Chase speak about the lack of resources. That's not happening only in Diego Martin. That's happening from Diego Martin to Sandy Grande to Pinal Debe and Mayaro. They are not, and furthermore, imagine, this is not only about geographical discrimination, but they are also not even providing funding for their own PNM corporations, inclusive of this one we in here today and the PNM Diego Martin Corporation. But the last thing I want to say, because I really didn't plan a speech, but I just wanted to give some idea of some of the things we are going to be looking at in the budget. Education, local government, works on infrastructure, roads, highways, local roads, bridges falling apart in this country. Where are the billions of dollars being spent? But I leave the best for last because I'm in my brother's home. In Sawa Barataria, we know there's still agriculture in this constituency. There's still agriculture right here in Barataria. And that has to be one of the biggest mama guys that this government has perpetrated against this nation. Because they came to the country and promised this country $1.2 billion for agriculture. Just under $700 million for the recurring expenditure in the ministry, And they mama guided us last year with $500 million they say they will use to diversify agriculture, to stimulate agriculture in this country. And what have we seen as a result? Paradia larceny, out of control. You invest your money in farming, they come thief it out. Why? Because the three main areas, the three main paradia larceny units in this country, under-resourced. If you call them, no vehicles to come to get you, no officers, officers have left, no funding. So who is policing the farms? And you see that $500 million? Well, we catch them in the Senate. I'm going to leave you with this. We catch them in the Senate. When they came to mama guide this country about the $500 million, boasting it was going to be $1.2 billion in agriculture. At the end of the last financial year, well, we asked the question, but we only seeing in a finance debate in the Senate. I got up and asked the question. In my debate, I said, that was Minister Clarence Rambarat. I said, I would like to ask through you, Madam President, to Minister Rambarat. You promised $500 million to the farmers. To date, with only 2 months remaining, you have spent $68 million of that on the food hamper program. I think that was the hamper program for the COVID-19, and only $10 million was actually provided to farmers to stimulate farming. And when I asked him the question, he said, no, that is because we never said we were going to spend it all in 1 year. It's going to roll over into the next financial year. You hear lie and mama guy? That is lie and mama guy. So we say, okay, that is it. We go wait for you. And we waited for them in the budget. And those yellow books came. And we saw what they spent and we saw what they bought. They come back now and say, no, $300 million for the stimulation package. So I got up again and I asked the question. The maths, Matson, if you spend $78 million and it's supposed to carry into the next year, how much money is supposed to carry into the next year? Not for how much? Not 422? So where the $122 million you say rolling over? But brothers and sisters, your loyal opposition in the Senate and in the lower house, we're waiting for them again. And we're going to take a look at those yellow books. And that one is the top of my mind. I'm going to hold them to task. When you see I get those yellow books, I want to see how much of the $300 million they actually spend. That is what they think about the farming industry in this country. That is what they think about diversification. They have no plan, they have no vision, they have no clue. And they are depending wholly and solely upon energy and the energy prices. And the day that war ends, crapo smoke we pipe. So brothers and sisters, I look forward to listening to the consultation today, to listening to all that you contribute and so on. We want to hear what you have to say. We are taking notes so that we can represent you within the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago to continue fighting for you, to ensure that whenever that day comes, hopefully sooner than later, that we will come together as one united National Congress and exile this Rowley PNM-led government out into the political cemetery. So I thank you very much for the few words.
I think Damien gave us a preview of how the France we got here. The next person I have to welcome on the platform is a very hard-working member of our national executive, the coordinator for the Northwest region, Mr. Eli Zacher. Eli?
Thank you, MP Saddam. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. Political leader, the Honorable Mrs. Kamala Prasad Basessa, my fellow colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to be here with you at the Barataria Community Center to participate in this budget consultation hosted by the San Juan Laventil, Port of Spain, and Diego Martin regional corporations. I want to express my gratitude to MP Hussein and his team for organizing this event. I would like to take this time to congratulate our nation on its 60th independence. I hope you had a great day yesterday. We have many things to be proud of. One of them, we elected this country's first female prime minister, the greatest prime minister this country ever had. Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Her administration delivered 5 good budgets, benefiting all sectors: energy, health, housing, education, national security, social services, and sport. You are aware of where the money went. Every day you can see the achievements of her government. Hospitals were built, schools were built, roads, highways, and bridges were built, police stations were built, the National Aquatic Center, over 100,000 laptops distributed, over 56,000 new jobs. 83 wage negotiations were settled. Social services grants, for example, the baby grant, just to name a few. And there are many things not to be proud of. We'll hear of those during the course of tonight. Since this current PNM administration came into office in 2015, 7 budgets were read, soon to be 8. As MP Leida indicated, 400 billion was spent. Where did that money go? Can anyone tell me? Where did it go? This budget consultation forum is about hearing from you, stakeholders, about issues and what you want to see in this budget. This information, as mentioned by MP Amin, is being compiled by a secretariat and will be part of presentations by our members in Parliament. I am from Diego Martin. We have our share of issues. You would think we don't though, since the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, Minister of National Security, and the Minister of Energy all reside in Diego Martin. But we do. They don't even fix their own areas where they live. You really think they will fix this country? On Monday, we saw some of the worst flooding ever recorded in recent years in North Trinidad. This is due to insufficient drainage infrastructure in critical areas, lack of cleaning and maintenance of waterways. Leading up to the 2020 general election, the Minister of Works and Transport asked the population to vote for the PNM because they needed 5 more years to eradicate flooding in TNT. 2 years has passed. Was anything done? You think anything will be done in the next 3? No. My colleague Sterling mentioned Diego Martin has no water. There's plenty water when it rains. Plenty. Crime in Diego Martin, just like the rest of the country, as MP Leida mentioned, is out of control. The police need more tools to do their jobs effectively. People are still being told when they call the police station, there are no vehicles. What happened to the 5.664 billion that was allocated to national security in the last budget? As Nazimo said, allocated, we don't know how much was spent. Where did this money go? But let me go further. Since the PNM came into office, 48.276 billion was allocated to national security. Let me repeat, 48.276 billion. Where did that money go? This is across all sectors. In this budget, I would like to see money being utilized properly. My time is up, but I look forward to hearing from all the stakeholders tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, Eli. Another one of our fighters that we have in the Sour-Laventil Regional Corporation, a man of the people, came from very humble beginnings. Very proud of him. I would like to introduce you to Councillor Amit Suknana, the councillor for Rangwell's Warner Village.
Thank you very much. A special good evening, each and everyone. May all protocols be respectfully observed. Thank you very much to our Honorable Member of Parliament for Barataria San Juan for hosting this lovely event, giving us the platform and opportunity to speak this evening. Thank you, Saddam. I'd like to also recognize our greatest political leader ever, the greatest Prime Minister this country has ever had, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. You know, from the moment I took my oath, I promised my political leader that we would never allow the flag to drag. And everything that we do politically, I will do it in thanks for that humble servant and that humble exemplist of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Brothers and sisters, being a counselor in this country has become exceedingly difficult under not just Rowley but the entire PNM regime. This government have demonstrated that they have no plan. This government has demonstrated that their vision is porous. This government has demonstrated that they are the greatest bag of liars in history. And your evidence to that is their manifesto. Their evidence to their lies is their manifesto. That is their greatest promise. I understand that the people in this country, they look at candidates, they look at manifestos, they look at the political leaders at the moment, they look at all sorts of things before they cast their vote. But by now, Kamala's song would have proven itself when she said to this nation that elections have consequences. Kamala started that, you know. That was our political leaders saying. And today, I'm hearing the voices of PNM supporters singing the song of Kamala Persad-Bissessar. We are in some of the darkest times that this country has ever been through. And the only thing that lit the airways of Trinidad and Tobago was the big wastage display of fireworks I've ever seen in my life. Whilst I might appreciate the fact that we celebrate independence and 60 years is a landmark that must be recognized, I think a lot was not recognized, in fact politically ignored in purpose. But there's a time to celebrate, there's a time to mourn. And I think by the level of crime that we are faced with daily and nightly in this country, this is no time to celebrate. This is no time to celebrate. Whilst I appreciate there is patriots in this country that would appreciate the chairs and the toasting and the fireworks and everything like that, on their way home, they go through ridiculous traffic, they mash up half their car going home, and you probably get robbed in the nights that is darkened by the failures of TNTech. Those are some things that we ignore in this country. The job that I took, the job that I signed up for, it's very, very hard for me to ignore stuff like that. And it bothers me to see this government waste money daily, when daily we pass through WASA leaks. Does anybody here have a WASA leak in the area that they can remember right away? On the top of your mind? You know where your WASA leak is? You know where your WASA leak is? What about your pothole? Which one? Exactly, which one? What about your pothole? Anybody here can remember any pothole on the top of your mind? Potholes. I heard someone say recently that there's roads in our potholes. There isn't potholes in our roads anymore. There's roads in our potholes. And they're right. You laugh at that, eh? Brothers and sisters, we must understand. We must understand that we are in troubled times. We must understand that our roads have turned deplorable, impassable in some ways. I have seen people protesting through length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. I have seen people fight for independence in this country. while they celebrate and they toast and they send up their fireworks and they celebrate their sort of independence, what about the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? We are not the persons who are supposed to celebrate independence. I listened to an interview recently, and I have no speech in front of me. There's enough to say about this government. I listened to an interview recently where I saw scrap iron dealers literally crying out to the media, hoping that the media would be their vessel. Of course, the opposition championed their cause, where you found persons of all ages found entrepreneurship in scrap iron dealing. And they were saying it right, you know. One guy took over the microphone and he said that this government wants to snatch our independence away from us. And that was a day or two before Independence Day. And that cry was ignored. But it was not only him alone who felt like that. And he said it quite frankly, that this government wants to take us away from what we do and force us into the welfare offices to go and line up for a grant that we will never get. You all saw that interview? You all saw that interview? And the man is right, you know. The man is on point. The government of Trinidad and Tobago is a dictatorship. This PNM nastiness is a dictatorship. And they want to force you to go back under them and put you back into the closest thing to slavery again. And then want to toast and celebrate independence. They are contradicting themselves. They are contradicting themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, it has come a time where we must make a stand. By now, by 2 terms of the Rowley PNM regime, nobody was fired, everybody was shuffled all over the place, and they showed that they could fail in every single position possible. By now, make your decision. The opposition of Trinidad and Tobago, the United National Congress, is extending a hand to you. Form the alliance, form the army, and let's remove this wicked government, and let's restore the beautiful Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Amit, for those greetings. So now, as we said earlier on, is that we want to hear from the people on the ground, the people who face the everyday issues, because the purpose of these local government consultations with respect to the budget is so that the members of parliament and the senators, when we respond to budget 2023, we will be able to incorporate your views, we'll be able to incorporate your ideas in our budget presentation, so that when we speak in the parliament, we don't speak for ourselves, but we speak for all of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And we chose to use the local government forum because this is where politics is closest to the ground, to the local government level. And I think this is where focus is being placed this time in order to really get the views of the people, so that when we go into the parliament, we are able to blow the PNM out of the water for their lies, for their mismanagement, and their total incompetence for the last 7 years. So I would like to open the floor now. I think Naseem has the microphone with her, and there were several persons before this consultation who have indicated a willingness that they would like to make brief contributions. So there's a secretariat set up by the Office of the Leader of the Opposition, who will in fact be collating, recording everything that you say, so that when we go into the budget debate, all of the MPs will have that material before them in order to use in their presentations in the various fields, be it agriculture, sports, education, crime, works, infrastructure, pothole, right? Name your pothole. So those are some of the issues that we'll raise tonight, so I would like to open the forum now. So Naseem, I think someone. Just before you start your presentation, if you can just give your name and which organization, or if you're speaking from yourself personally.
Hi. Pleasant good night, everyone. All protocols observed. Very special good night to the political leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. we have a budget upon us, right? And, you know, I speak to all of us here. I speak to those viewing us on live stream. We have a budget upon us. And we have certain demands that we would like to be met in this budget, right? But before I jump into that very briefly, I would like to urge you all, please be on guard. You know, all is not lost. All is not lost. Yesterday, I live a stone's throw away from the Queen's Park Savannah. I didn't feel like independence. Today, here with this voice, this floor, this opportunity, today feels like Independence Day. We have a Minister of Finance and a Prime Minister about to deliver a budget. But their telltale is that when they start with, now that things getting a little better, you know, you all can get a little something, all right? So we know it's an election budget, all right? There are certain things in the budget we would like to see. You speak about the lost children in the education system during the last couple of years of COVID. But yet still, you have a Minister of Finance making decisions to get rid of social workers, especially at a time when we have, as they say, over 2,000 children lost from the system because no devices, no connectivity. And I would like personally, on behalf of the people of Diego Martin, right, my name is Randall Patterson. I'm a former local government candidate in the Bellevue-Borsia area in Diego Martin. And I would like to see money pumped into this budget to go find those couple thousands of children by way of, you know, get these social workers back into the system. We are at a stage in 2022 where if you don't have money in your pocket, education system after Form 5 becomes a dead-end scenario. No future. We would like to see some money being pumped back into GATE, as my brother here said. Some money going back into the technical vocational institutes. All right? The avenues for young persons via technical institute, gone. You know, our political leader, the political leader, had this great plan for connectivity. I would like to see that plan executed. It's not difficult. Just sit down with the political leader. You know, I would like to see money go into our community centers and playgrounds and play parks being Wi-Fi ready and connected so that all children in communities, in all communities, would be able to sit in their household. And if this wicked government were to give back the devices, together with that connectivity plan that was in place, we would not be leaving a single child behind. It is a pretty simple plan with a well-concocted, cynical plot to make sure our children are purposely not educated, because the more educated they become, the more they will make them out for their lies, their deceit, and their corrupt behavior. It is simple. Keep them uneducated, they will never know what they're asking for. So I would like to see the education system be vamped back up, come back. It is simple. All you have to do is put back what Kamla Prasad Bisesa had in place. It is that simple. Including the social workers. Let us find those 2,000 children. We know where they are. But we don't know how to get them back into the system. And that is what these social workers were about. Right? So I would like to thank you very much. All right, as I said, I would like the live persons viewing us on live stream, please do not be fooled by the evilness of this man when he starts now about, you know, things were hard for the past couple years and now we're able to give you something and all of that set and the sing-song dotishness and then in the bacchanal behavior, please do not be fooled by it. It is his greatest way of distraction. Be alert, be vigilant, ask for what you want, demand what you want, keep the pressure on, and state what you want in the budget. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patterson. So we have the floor open.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Nandalal Singh, the LCCO Tax Association President. Right, and dealing with John Public is not easy. Right, we're working very hard to deal with John Public, and the issue we have right here is the PCAS and MS1. And today we have to study the youth. What's going to happen to the youth? Right? I'll be thankful for Saddam. He'll be part of the things that we need. We stoke him. And thankful for Mr. Ramjan and Winston Maharaj, working with me concerning the crime. We have to push. We have to work together. If we don't work together, we will fall flat with this government. We need to stand up for one another today. We have to work hard. That's all I have to say today. Thank you all for being here.
Good afternoon, everybody. All protocols observed. MP Saddam, thank you for hosting this event and giving a voice to the people. There are very serious issues. My name is Safraz Ali. I am a current director with the Agriculture Society of Trinidad and Tobago. And I would like to commend Senator Damian Lyda. Senator Damian Lyda, you hit the nail on the head with economics. This government is failing the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago on agriculture. And I would just like to give, if we could give him a round of applause for that, because that was a really nice salvo there. But I also have some extra information as a director within the ASCT. I will not take long, right? I just want to bring it to the attention. Mr. Senator Lyda said they allocated $500 million for agriculture in 2020 budget. In this year's budget, they allocated $100 million for emergency funding in agriculture. Up to now, we don't know where that $100 million went. To be honest, we have been asking, well, members of the agriculture community has been asking, where is that $100 million? We cannot find it, right? We cannot find it. Yet still, we saw a very obscene spending of taxpayers' money, $8 million to Papi Show, Agriculture Expo, August the 18th, at the Queen's Park, Savannah, when farmers in Orang Wells waiting for flood relief grants since 2019. Is that fair, my brothers and sisters? Since 2019, farmers waiting for flood relief grant. The whole flood relief grant system seems to have collapsed. Farmers are no longer applying for it because they say it's a futile attempt to get anything from this government with respect to flood relief grants, even the subsidy program. When you buy a spray can, you're supposed to get back some money. That's taken months and months, even years to get back a little pittance. This government is I don't know if they are being consumed by so much of bureaucracy that they cannot function, or they're just totally incompetent. But I would like to end by stating this, right? Everybody listen to this one. A barrel of oil going for 90-something US a barrel, right? Right? Or TT? 90-something US a barrel, right? A barrel of pepper mash. Pepper mash is the final product. Pepper mash is the final product when you process the pepper, right? Pepper mash is used to make pepper sauce. You can use pepper mash to make pepper spray, all kind of different products. A barrel of pepper mash going for 1,000 US a barrel. Which one could earn a greater foreign exchange? Barrel of pepper mash. So it's not rocket science. The answer to our problem is agriculture, yet still this government, for whatever reason, is ignoring agriculture, is mashing down our farmers. Our farmers are against the odds. The prices of raw material, fertilizer, chemicals has quadrupled in the last 4 months. So if you are up and coming farmer, I am telling you, you are against the odds. You have to pay high money for fertilizers, chemical. The weather we get in these days is so variable, your crop's not guaranteed to come out good at all. Only God could save us right now in agriculture, and probably if the United National Congress comes back in power, we will have better programs in place to save agriculture. I thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much, Safraz. I think the mic is roving.
Good evening, honorable members, MPs, members of San Juan, Port of Spain and Diego Martin Regional Corporation, members of the business community of Barataria, San Juan, fellow listeners. My name is Imran Khan. I am a small businessman, over 20 years in the San Juan area. I just want to touch on 2 points affecting the business sector, which is the US currency and the economy. Even before the closure of Petrotrin, the main artery of earning US currency through oil and gas, the PNM government did not take into consideration the repercussions and consequences of their actions. It will be detrimental to the business sector in regards to acquiring your US dollar. Today, a simple traveler has to line up in the banks for hours with their itinerary just to get 100 US dollars. For the micro and small businessman, he has a $3,000 US spending limit on his credit card on a 30-day cycle. Meaning, if you use your credit card today, your 3,000 US, and you pay it out tomorrow, you have to wait 30 days before you can use that again to purchase your produce. For the premium credit cards, you're allowed up to 10,000 US spending capacity on a 30-day cycle. So now you don't have the purchasing power to cover your overhead expenses. Let me explain. Now when crime is at its highest ever in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, you have to spend thousands of dollars on CCTV cameras, pay for additional security personnel, additional burglar proofing, also deal with high prices of shipping duty, just to name a few expenses. Insurance, correct? So you see, it is very difficult trying to keep a business afloat. Some are just barely getting by. We have all seen in malls and plazas how much empty stores there are. I want you to understand this. The struggle is very, very real. The next point I want to make on the economy is that consumers just do not have that extra cash to spend. They have to prioritize what is important. Let me give you an example. Now it's back to school. Parents have to strike a balance between buying books and buying food. How do they manage with a high cost of food on a minimum wage of $17 per hour? A tin of corned beef is $24. One hops bread is $1.25. Flour, being one of the main staple foods, has risen 3 times in the first quarter of this year. National Flour Mill has said they have procured flour at its current price for the rest of the year. So which means for the rest of the year, they have flour. It wouldn't go up. What about next year? We don't eat next year? Brace all yourself. Next year, food is going to go up. Flour is going to go up, among other things. I want to talk about food security and food sustainability. Food security and food sustainability is on the front burners of many countries around the world. Food security meaning the state of having reliable access to sufficient quantity and affordability of nutritious food. Food sustainability can be defined as producing food in a way that protects the environment, makes efficient use of natural resources, ensure that farmers can support themselves, enhances the quality of life, in the communities that produces food, also a regular and consistent supply. In Trinidad and Tobago, the PNM government is not moving aggressive enough to deal with this crisis. Do you know what is one of the #1 selling food right now in Trinidad and Tobago? I'm trying to keep my composure. I don't want to blow a gasket this evening. I'm just trying to keep it mellow. Because it's a serious, serious issue. Do you know what is one of the #1 selling food in quick shops, pharmacies, parlors? Packed noodle soup. Packed noodle soup, ramen, right? It is the #1 selling food right now in Trinidad. It is 3 for $10, or in some places 4 for $10. It is not a nutritious meal. It is a high in sodium and nitrates. But what it does, it full empty bellies. That is what it does. It full hungry bellies. Is this the new adaptation to the economic crisis? Citizens are searching for alternative means of buying cheap food just to survive. This is where we are right now. We have an economy that is declining, causing a chain reaction that is affecting our civil and social aspect of life. It is all interconnected. We see a disintegration in the education system. Unemployment leads to a higher crime rate. The health sector is failing. Acquiring medication is based on affordability and availability. Are we going to see in the 2023 budget the removal of VAT on food items? Are we going to see new generated ideas to generate foreign exchange? Are we going to see a strategic and scientific approach in dealing with this crisis? As I leave you tonight, I just want you to analyze this. I'm leaving you all with a question tonight. One question to ponder about, to think about, to analyze. Is Trinidad and Tobago economy salvageable under this PNM government? Thank you. Good night.
Good night, brothers and sisters. All protocols observed. Special greetings to our Honorable Leader Kamala Prasad Bisesa. What I'm going to do tonight, very briefly, is to compare what was done by our leader Kamala Prasad Bisesa for Carnival as compared to the PNM. And I'll tell you why. Because of the way Kamala Prasad Bisesa handled NCC and Carnival, thousands of jobs were created. A lot of people don't know that. Thousands of jobs were created. She gave the normal allocation. I pulled the figures from 2014 at the height of her tenure. She gave the subvention for the PANMEN totaling $36,123,500. So the PAN people played themselves. Do you know what's given by the PNM up to today? $8,100,000 compared to the kind of money Kamala gave. for the national Calypso competitions. Tuko the organization. And them didn't like Kamala at all. You know that. They're singing all kind of thing about Kamala, this, that. But she said, I am serving all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. She gave to Tuko $14,848,242. Up to last carnival, you know how much PNM gave Tuko? Who they sing for PNM? $6 million compared to 14 from Kamala. For the band association, all the different mass bands, the big bands, Kamala allocated, her government allocated $17,861,460. You know how much PNM give them this year? $6 million compared to Kamala's $17 million. And then she had a special place for the small man and for people. That is what we call in NCC, and it's a name that we know, Regional Carnival Committee. And here what Regional Carnival Committee comprises. 1, all the little carnivals all over the country. Carnival in Barataria, Carnival in Toko, Carnival in Digo Martin, Carnival in Grandi, Carnival in Pinal, wherever. Because we had set up carnival committees. She allocated for the Regional Carnival Committee $13,696,534. She ensured. As a matter of fact, I'm not talking just from figures. On the NCC board, I was the deputy chairman and I was the commissioner responsible for regional carnival. So I know what I'm speaking about. She ensured. You see all these small people in Port of Spain all over the place were employed at the NCC. Ask no questions. They came to the NCC and we had, some people here might remember, we had a carnival village where, of course, I'll ensure that every of our groupings could send some people to be employed. So Dan LaFleur will send 1 or 2 people to the NCC because he's one of the past workers here. And the person responsible for that, for organizing the Carnival Village, she's right here tonight. Miss Plenty, just raise your hand, Miss Plenty. She organized the Carnival Village. We also handled workshops right through the country. So in the main, Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the government ensured that the carnival was taken care of, the cultural aspect of Trinidad and Tobago was taken care of, and many, many people gained employment. At that time, we didn't have much crime at all. So she strategized. So I'm saying, from a budgetary standpoint, we must ensure that the next budget, that the Rowley regime must be pressured by our government, our MPs, and our senators to prepare the budget for the people. And we'll just hold a little bit until Kamala Prasad Bisesa comes back as leader of this country and we get proper budgets for National Carnival Commission. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Don. I think we have someone from the floor. Just state your name, please.
Pleasant good night to each and every one of you. My name is Ramchandra Timal. Everyone should know me by now. I am the president of the Arang West Taxi Driver Association. Tonight, I wanted to touch on 3 topics. But first, I must say, I would like to thank Sir Saddam Hussein for giving me the opportunity to raise our concern. Tonight, I want to touch on 3 topics. One is security. The reason why I said security, one of our drivers got killed, was shot and killed. Soon after that, we held a big protest in the Kweze. Since 2015, I've been raising this issue, asking for security cameras so it could be placed directly, obliquely opposite our taxi stand, so it could identify persons, whoever entered our taxis. If that was done, they would have been held, somebody would have been held today for that murder. After that, we have a couple of robberies. Until this date, as I stand here, nothing has been done concerning that. So I would like to make an appeal to whoever in authority to please work with us. I am willing to work with whoever it is to get this cameras installed. Secondly, I would like the government to revise this insurance law. The reason why I said insurance law is that I am not only speaking about Arang West taxis, I'm speaking for all the taxis throughout Trinidad and Tobago. If any person taxi get involved in an accident, could anyone here tell me how much money the insurance company paying a taxi driver per day when the vehicle is down? The present fee they're paying is $100 a day. Taxi drivers don't work for $100 a day. So by the meantime, you don't have a taxi, you have to wait a month till you get a vehicle fixed. That is unfair. And the third item I would like to discuss here tonight is the most crucial one. I would like the government to place great emphasis on fixing road. I would like to place emphasis again on local government, giving the councillors and them a location, full allocation, so that they will make my work easy. As you all know, by the meantime, I will be fixing all the potholes in Arang West. The reason for fixing the pothole in Arang is how many times should I go down in one hole? You understand what I'm saying? So, and I love my country. That is why I'm doing that. But by the meantime, I am holding the slack for my brother Amit Suknanan, hoping that he get the allocations so we make my job easier. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Timal. And for those of you, the very few that is who don't know Mr. Timal, on Facebook you would have seen that there's a taxi driver who has been fixing potholes along the Arang West Main Road. You all see it? That is Mr. Timal. Yesterday, Independence Day, while champagne was being poured in Napa, Mr. Timal was with a trowel and cement fixing pothole on Arang West Main Road. That is Mr. Timal. He's a true patriot of this country. I think we have someone else who wants to make a contribution.
Good evening to all members of the panel, all protocols observed. Honorable Member Saddam, thank you for having us. Aaron Silkatier, Khadija Amin, and of course, the leader who made this possible. All right. I am here to represent Greenband Maxi Taxi Operators. Just like you, Mr. President, we have Greenband operators who actually fix pothole. When we fix a pothole, you get about 3 months to 4 months life on it. That is without any asphalt. When the public servants fix it, you get about 6 months. When the private contractor fix it, you get 3 months. Right? So we understand your plight, and we are also a part of that. Councillor Amit, you have a voice for radio. All right? MP, Now, you're supposed to be the shadow MP for the Attorney General, right?
Yes.
If I had the powers, I'd make it the Attorney General. But anyhow, seat belts. Maxi taxi operators having a problem with seat belts. If you come into my maxi, Mr. Hussein, I should not be responsible for paying any fines because you refuse to wear a seat belt. You are old enough. You have heard it many times that when they get into a vehicle, wear a seat belt. We want that legislation changed. Once you are 18 years and over, you are now responsible for your own decisions. Thank you. When somebody commits a murder, nobody goes to the police officer in charge for the district and charge him for failing to prevent a murder. I shouldn't be charged for somebody failing to wear a seatbelt once they are 18 years and over. Our second concern, Traffic Act 2022, Minister Rowan Sinanan. Discriminating against maxi and taxis from going up on ramps, coming from Gasparillo to Grand Bazaar, any ramp along the line, we cannot go between the hours of 6 and 9. So it means to say any senior citizen traveling will have to walk 500 feet in the rain or the sun to get on top of the ramp and walk 500 feet down to access a maxi taxi on a highway where people are traveling over 100 kilometers an hour. We want that fixed. We want that change. The lack of modern amenities on maxi taxi stands. We don't have toilets. We work 72 to 96 hours a week. That is our working hours, correct? Roughly 12 to 16 hours a day. When we leave home in the dark, we return home in the dark. Imagine we cannot have cameras on board our maxi taxis. We cannot allow to have electronic screen boards on our maxi taxis because we are going to be harassed by draconian laws that license officers are going to use to come against us. We want that change, right? We want a special financing at low interest rate to modernize the entire green band maxi fleet, right? Which will help to give our citizens of this country better and more comfortable riding vehicles. That is what we are asking for, and we are also asking for broadband connections in maxi taxis that the government said they were promising how many years now, right? Now, I know I have a limited time. I ain't seen the light yet, or the light behind me. That is why I ain't seen. So I will leave it at that. Green band maxi operators, we fixing pothole from Crab Junction to San Fernando Library Corner. So it's not only you alone. You have some friends on the other side, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Silkat. And you know, that's a very important point you raised with the MiFi. This government has been promising this MiFi, I believe, since 2015. We're in 2022, 60 years of independence, and you can't even get Wi-Fi connectivity when you're traveling. They promise that they will put the Wi-Fi in the schools. Well, it's still not there. They promise laptops. They took away the laptops. So it's really a culmination of failures for the last 7 years that we have seen. Everything that the Kamala Persad government did between the period 2010 to 2015 would have propelled us about 10 years further. And the PNM just came 7 years now and sent us back about 20 to 30 years backward. Yeah. I think we have some other, Naseem, anyone else on the floor?
Yeah.
Just state your name and where you're from, right?
Yes, Mr. Salam. Good night, everybody. My name is Rakesh Dulchan, and I represent some farmers from the Harangwe South area.
Right.
First thing, brothers, I want to say, time for we to form one body and get rid of that man boy. Because let me tell you something, right? You see, when you go in that ghost tree, it's every day. It's a problem in that ghost tree. It's not like Creole and Indian again. We had to come as one boy to get rid of the devil boy. Because we had a, let me tell you something and make it clear. So who vexed die nothing? Let me tell you this. We had an angel, and some people get rid of she and bring in the devil. Sorry for saying it so, boy. As my partner say, just now we went on nothing to Ram again. Me a line to tell you, I really don't like that. I really don't. My son like it. He like it more. Anyhow, so I want to say pleasant good night again, my brothers and sisters. So the couple years doing farming, it's been a struggle. It's really been a struggle. I want to say something, right? I would like to see the government drop the tax on the people who paying X amount of dollars from 15,000 to much 100,000 to clear a container. A container right now. That is the reason why it is. You're hearing all this thing going up. Salt. You know how much for a bag of salt? I was paying $150 for a half bag. Now I'm paying $300. So this is the problem you're finding. Farmers don't want to get away the goods again. Stand up and jam in the price. When you go, boy, I can't even buy food, boy. I can't buy food, boy. The money that I'm working for, it will done in 2-3 days time as you get paid. End of story. Let me go back again to the issues that I facing on a regular basis. The Ministry of Works don't care about the farmers in this country. Also, the Minister of Agriculture don't even care about the farmers in this country. Millions of dollars spending by millions and watch. Go see the condition of the road. Go see the condition of the dam. Nobody and walking the dams. Farmers losing crops. Yeah, what telling you? How much years now? Not a flood check. Rowley, I don't know what to say, boy. You ain't care about nobody, boy. Because when he lie down in the bed and he eat the bread, he don't really care damn who really dead. Sorry to say it like that. Sorry to say it like that. But brothers and sisters, as a father, boy, I know the pressure people going through now. I used to collect my salary, and when I study a brother and sister, even a single mother outside here, how will I making out, boy? Seriously? How will I making out? I don't see my pay. But I have 20 years, me see my pay as yet. As it comes, it go. But the cost of living, boy, it getting high, boy. And if we form a body, let me just put the racial thing and the PNM thing and come in one and put the bread on top. Because that woman did love and she still love everybody. She love it. I know black, white, yellow, and pink with she boy. Take away the children education. When my son come home with a laptop, you know, nice I feel, boy, to see him there. Yeah, the whole thing about laptop. How you want the children get bright, boy? How you want them get bright, boy? Give them a chance, boy. So, brothers and sisters, as I say, our next issue again is the flooding, the damp, the vandalizing, all them things. They break out the iron, they thief out this about 5 times. I live down by my yard, and every time I leave to go out and play tassa, something always is missing. There are no employment for the youths and them, as the farmers and them down there, been begging the Ministry of Works for the longest while to employ the farmers and them, so that who living down there, they go work the dams. So, and these are the issues that we facing. Next issue, Mr. Saddam, here what happening, right? The TNTech put the post down there. Me, you know, something they put, they remove it and say wrong spot. And number 2. Number 3, a little water. Brothers and sisters, only have a blessed one. And that is me day. Thank you.
All protocols observed. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Member of Parliament for Barataria, Member of Parliament for St. Augustine, members of the Senate, ladies and gentlemen. I am here, my name is Ibrahim Ali, I'm a businessman in the area. And one of the things that we note is that San Juan and Barataria consist of small and micro businesses. And when we ask this government, what have you done to engender and to get the young people of this constituency involved in business? They have done nothing. They have done nothing, absolutely nothing. When you ask Dr. Rowley about the economy, he say all they're saying is economy, economy, economy. You know, I take the cue from MP Saddam. We have to start naming the pothole. But I'm wondering if we name the pothongs too. Because we have a lot of pothongs that don't understand what it takes to stimulate the economy. First of all, there's no confidence that a business person could get from being organized by this government. The ease of doing business has been devastated by this government. If you have a young person who wants to get into the business world, it is like a nightmare. He don't know how to register his business. He don't know how to start a business. he don't know how to advertise, he don't know how to get a business plan. Where's the entrepreneurial spirit that they should be engendering for this community? What will happen to our youths, all the young people who cannot get employment? Everybody know what is happening with businesses. Businesses are closing because they cannot withstand the cost of security, they cannot withstand the cost of just existing in business. When you look at this quasi and a little shower rainfall, our bankers row, as we name it, flood completely for years, for 15, 20, 25 years. They cannot alleviate the flooding problem in the center of attraction in San Juan. When you look at the expanding business hub south of the Eastern Main Road, and you see how many businesses has entered into that community, but flooding has continued as never before. And when you look at pothole, you go right in the quasi, as you turn into that traffic light, there's a pothole as huge as the pothong in Port of Spain. It is slowing down traffic to the extent that from the Eastern Main Road in San Juan, the traffic backs up to 6th Avenue because of that one hole, and they wouldn't repair it. When we look at the infrastructural work that they did on the Lady Young Road, which has caused the bottlenecking in that area, you just come eastward on that Eastern Main Road towards that traffic light, and you will see the millions of dollars spent on that infrastructure there is a wasted amount of money, because it is bottlenecking. It is bottlenecking. And you tell them about it, they say let the people get accustomed. So you know what? You get accustomed to a bad economy. You get accustomed to your children going to sleep hungry. You get accustomed to not being able to work and bring bread and butter to the table of your home. You better get accustomed to that, or otherwise you better join forces and get this government out of power. It is for the better of you and me. For our country, we celebrated 60 years yesterday. And you know what I asked myself? The people who went there to celebrate, do you know what went on there? They drink champagne and caviar. But who are those people? They're not you and me. They are the well-to-dos that went and celebrate. And when they asked our opposition leader why she wasn't there, she was not there because she has conscience. This is a woman of conscience. How can I drink champagne when my people are suffering? How can I do that? How do you ask me to come and hug and be joyful? And it's our Jubilee celebration, but people catching their ass. Is that right? Is that right? You have people that don't know where the next plate of food coming from. We need to stand up. We need to stand up as one unified body. The people of Trinidad and Tobago need to stand up. Let us join together. This is not about race or religion. This is about people under one creator, one spirit, one God. Let us come together and get this wicked regime out of power. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ali. And Mr. Ali, for those who don't know, is when he speaks with authority. Mr. Ali is a pioneer in the Sawa area. He was also the former president of the Sawa Business Association. So he's a man, he's a justice of the peace also. So when he speaks with authority. So thank you very much for that contribution, Mr. Ali.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anwar Mohammed. I came here to speak to you all about credit union. I joined 3 credit union, and in these credit union, the only one I could talk about had a good behavior was the Eastern Credit Union. The other 2, I cannot speak about them very good because I was a member of the Wassa Credit Union. Now it is called KU because they joined with Custom and Exile, and they become KAHU. In 2017, I went in the hospital in Port of Spain because I had to do an operation to one of my eyes. And after doing the operation, I went to get a loan to get a glasses. The loan I went to get, it wasn't really a loan. It was money I had in the credit union. I had in the savings, and I had in the other one. I could have gone and take out the money. When I went and I talked to the people in the credit union, they tell me, I go get the money. Go and get the voucher. I went in the Crazy Day by Royal Bank Day to have the glasses placed there, and I get the paper. When I get the paper, I carry it back to the credit union. And the credit union said that I will get the money. It was $3,300 was for the glasses. They say I will get the money. When I went back now, they tell me to come, they're having a meeting. When I went to the meeting, nobody wasn't there, so you see what's going on. What happened, the next eye, after I do the operation, the next eye start to get trouble. So I really needed our glasses. When I went now, I spoke to one of the fellas, if people recall. Wasari suspend 4 people, 4 big people in the office. At the highest level I'm talking about in Wassa. And the individual tell me I'll get the money, go and bring the paper. When I went back now, he tell me when to come for the money. When I went for the money now, I hear he leave the credit union. He not there anymore, so I meet a next chap now. When I meet the next chap now, he tell me it happened a meeting in Wassa Sports Club. I went there to the meeting and I talked to him. He tell me I'll get the money. When I went for the money now, he tell me I can't get no money right now. They may have no money right now. So this is what really going on with the credit union at present. The credit union is a set of thieves. I telling all the Wassa Credit Union is a set of thieves.
Mr. Mohammed, while we're giving you the opportunity to make your presentation, do so respectfully, right? Let's not get into that area where we
all right.
name call people.
Thank you, Mr. What really happened now, I went and I joined the next credit union. That is the Muslim Credit Union. And if people know the history of the Muslim Credit Union, they will know what I'm speaking about. Because in the Muslim Credit Union, I had approximately about $28,000 in the credit union. And what really happened...
Mr. Mohammed? Yeah.
What really happened in the Muslim Credit Union, they come and they reduce the thing from $28,000. They tell me I could only get $16,000. So the next $12,000, they say they had some meeting and that is the arrangement they make. So I went home and I talked to them. They tell me, boy, take that money because you don't know what really going on in that credit union.
Mr. Mohammed, so it seems as though you have a private issue with his credit union, right? And there's a young man in the back there, his name is Mr. Kyle Taklal Singh. He just told me that he will lend you some free legal assistance with this matter, right? So,
yeah, what really happened now, in the, what really happened now in the,
Yeah.
I still
But he's waiting for you right now, because he has to
Yeah.
leave very shortly. Yeah.
yeah, what already happened now, I went in the credit union to get the money, and they give me a letter. I went to the meeting, I tell Oli I went to the meeting in the Wassa Credit Union. And in that meeting, I wrote a letter, and I wrote the letter, and I take it. Yeah. All right. I'll continue.
Okay.
Yeah, what already happened now?
No, Naz, just tell him he can't say too much about his case on air. Right? Yeah, let him talk to the lawyer now.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you all very much for listening. And what really happened?
All right. All right, everyone. Love in the house. I see Mr. Mohammed is already going to Mr. Taklal Singh, so thank you very much.
Well, that was a little entertainment for free. Greetings, one and all.
Greetings.
My little contribution here tonight is to talk about the police service in this country. And I also want to endorse Mr. Ali. Oh, my name is Noreen John, small business, politician, a little bit of everything. Yeah, I want to talk about the police service in this country and the government, where the people are seeing real trouble. Every day in this country, since this government took over 7 years ago, people begging me. Today I had to buy a sneakers for a child. Yesterday I had to lend a man to buy a sneakers for his daughter, and today I had to buy one for somebody. Where is the grant that was allocated years ago? I don't know if it's the past under Kamala regime or the PNM, but I think children going back to school today should have been somewhere where some incentive where they could have gotten money to go to school. It's a sad state of affairs. Yeah, and I see big men, well dressed in the quasi, and they're begging me for $20. They dress up nice, but they don't have a cent in their pocket. And these are people who support the Balize, most of them, and they just come to me to beg, but I just had to explain to them why all they don't go by Imbert and Rowley, who always supported, and ask for the things all they're asking me for. I have money like Mr. Ali and them, I just do a little hungry business now. Yeah. No, but I really want to talk about the police service. Who know me, they know I drive a set of old cars. And I park my car in the savannah and went jogging and thing and walk around with some people and leave my car unattended. When I come back, my battery was stolen. The lady named Iva Achi, oh God, not Iva Achi, Joanna Achi, sorry. No, that was a genuine mistake, Joanna Achi, no, genuinely, it's a genuine mistake. Joanna, she told me she will see what she could do. I never gave a battery, that is one, and I had 3 invasions of my property where these hungry sufferers and them broke apart with my glass. And I don't know if they break off, cut off the shoulder and enter my premises. But I don't know how they get in, but they took my television, my boombox, my drinks and everything. I went to the station, the St. Joseph station, and they come and take fingerprint, and up to now me in here nothing. I went police complaints authority. I went all over, ombudsman, all kind of thing, and nothing up to today. So the police service, the rogue element, I want the government to get rid of them. Gary Griffith was doing a good job, but they don't want him because all of them is a set of corrupted people. Right, the police and they may come up to now when I had to do my own policing, you know. A man asked me if I want to get rid of them give him $3,000. I said, no, I can't do that. You understand? So I really genuinely want to talk about the police service in this country and the begging boys. Since PNM come in this in government, I never see people beg so in my life, boy. I just get real vexed. I walk from the city gate to Park Street, 6 men beg me. In town, I just want to go in town at all. I just feel shame and sorry for the people. They say they're hungry. I said, well, go by Besson Street and have a place that just give out food in the old car park. Give me... Yeah, so that's my contribution in a nutshell, in a colloquial and street style. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this will be our last contribution for the night because we're running out of time. Just state your name, please.
Yeah, good night. Good night, everybody, brothers and sisters. Darren Lafleur is the name. Well, I'm from hell. No, really, Carnage. Right? I live in down by Rowley. Now, my concern is really about those of you who have passed through Carnage or Shagaramas for the past week or two would have known that it have a landslide on the main road in Carnage there, right? Now, when Dr. Rowley first assumed office, that is when it had the first major landslide, like about 6 years ago. And Dr. Rowley is on record saying that he, in his constituency, there isn't any secondary school, just 4 primary schools, right? Well, 2 of these primary schools is in the west, Carnage Girls and Carnage Boys, and 2 of the primary schools is more to the east in Point Commander. Point Commander Government and St. Peter's RSC. That's the school Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa built over, right? But before, when the PNM was in power, Dr. Rowley gave every reason why that school can't build in that spot. And then came in the boss and she built this school. I went to that school. My both parents taught at that primary school. Right? Now, children, no, people who supporting Dr. Rowley, their kids and their grandkids go into that school on that main road. Dr. Rowley spent $53 million on a police station in Carnage. So I asked people, because I run a small business too, like my lady friend there, I have a barber shop, and I asked people in the barber shop, because you know a barber shop is a hub. So I asked them, on any given day, can you tell me how many people you know that's be arrested and placed in any one of those cells in Carnage Day? You know, some people start to think, I say like, 1 for the day, 1 for the week, 1 for the month, how much? And nobody couldn't understand because now they start to think, we didn't need a station that valued $53 million. You understand? So you ain't take 1 million out of that 53 million and fix that wall around that corner with them children and them passing. Them is the fruit, them is the people who support you, support Rowley all these years. Their kids and grandkids that tell you passing there. And that man didn't see it fit to fix that wall with them children passing. It's a part of the pavement. It's thinner than this style. Now little children, big brother holding little sister or big sister holding little brother. It's primary school. It's under 12. Walking on that main road. At some point on that pavement, it's so thin that they had to walk in single file. That is around a corner. And Shagaramas has now become an industrial estate. So you have big trailer going down, big trailer coming up around that bend, and they just have to compromise on that already small pavement. So my thing is this, right? It's really wishful thinking, you know, to go and ask this man for anything meaningful for the poor people, you know. I telling you, I have absolutely no confidence. No matter how you dress it, no matter how you say it, he don't care. So it only have one thing to do. Only one thing. And that is my contribution.
Thank you very much. Now, I just want to say special greetings to a very hardworking man of this great party, Mr. Peter Kanhai, our General Secretary, who has joined us here tonight. And we also have our PRO, Dr. Kirk Megu, who is with us tonight and who has joined us in all the series so far. And sitting right next to Dr. Megu is a young man who I met right here at the Barataria Community Center. I didn't know he was coming here tonight, and his name is Shondell Tyndale. You could stand. Let them see you. And right in the corner where the DJ booth is, Shondell had a little booth set up. They had an exhibition. The Lions Club had an exhibition with young entrepreneurs from the community. And he has a small business called the Parfait Port. Got the name right, right? Right, the Parfait Port. And he uses the best ingredients to ensure that persons consume healthy food. And as a young man, we have to encourage people just like Shondell, really to give them the push. And I'm so happy that you're here this evening to listen to what we have to say, because it is persons like them who we are speaking for today. Because in a few years, I may not be here anymore, but Shondell will be here, and we have to make a better Trinidad and Tobago for them. So for the next 60 years, we shouldn't be complaining about potholes, but we should have a Trinidad and Tobago that all of us should be proud of, not asking where the France will reach. Is that all the contributions from the floor? So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. I think the conversation was very well put by all of those who contributed. And just to close off today's proceedings, I'd just like to invite my sister, the Honorable Khadija Amin, to join me on the platform for closing remarks. Khadija has been a very, very good supporter throughout this entire budget consultations, helping us mobilize, coordinate, and so far we're having great successes. So thank you very much, Khadija.
Well, let me begin by congratulating MP Saddam Hussein for coordinating this edition of our budget consultation. The UNC pre-budget consultation has been well received thus far. Our committee is headed by the Research Officer on the National Executive, Mr. Saddam Hussein. And we had a very successful launch. There were over 300 persons in attendance in Shogunas. We then went to Tableland, where the people of Princestown and Mayaro region came out in their numbers. Again, the venue was overflowing. We are here in Barataria today, and on Saturday, we are going to the region of Sandy Grande. We will be at the Sandy Grande Hindu School. And so the people of the region of Sandy Grande will get their opportunity, as you did today, to give their views on what they would like to see in the budget, on how they have been affected by the last year's budget, and what they would like to see improved. This is not an exercise for us to come and talk to you. As you recognize, the floor is open for the majority of the program. And that is so that you could come and give your views, the people of the region. And that is the leadership of Kamla Prasad Bisesa at work. This exercise, every person who contributed, it has been recorded. And I want to thank you because you have made your contribution to the opposition's response to the budget in Parliament that will be people-centered and people-focused. I want to take this opportunity to thank those who helped organize today's event, our sound system, the people who spoke. We have elected officials, but we also have within the region of Diego Martin, Port of Spain, and Barataria, San Juan, areas where the UNC may not have one, But our candidates who offered to serve, many of them still remain, and they are more visible than the elected PNM MPs and councillors. So we saw several of them tonight, and we thank you for your service to the people of your community with the United National Congress. While we say thank you this evening for your presence, for your attendance, we thank Mr. William Archie for the live stream. We thank those who joined us live online. Give the online people a round of applause. Let them know we appreciate them. I want us to continue to participate, because democracy is participation. And under the leadership of our present leader of opposition, we have the opportunity to participate. It is not just about your MPs coming here and talking down to you. It is about us listening and taking it forward so that your views will be heard in Parliament, because that is what you elected us for, to speak on your behalf. I want to ask Darren, does Rowley speak on your behalf? I want to ask Marsha, does Imbert speak on your behalf? In Port of Spain, does Stuart Young speak on your behalf, Darren? Your MPs are supposed to speak on your behalf. So we in the UNC will continue to remain people-centered and people-focused. We thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you in Sandy Grande on Saturday at 4 p.m. at the Sandy Grande Hindu School. Thank you.